Hi guys, I'm Dr. Stewart Wood. I'm a chiropractor in Adelaide, Australia. Welcome back to the channel. So, what you've seen today is what we're calling a series of the basics. The basics being here, the basics things to do after a low back episode, an acute low back tweak. So in episode 1, we went through how to sort of respond to that initial period, how to calm things down. In episode 2, we talked about the McGill Big 3, a great series of exercises to get some movement and get some load through the spine. So episode 3, we're talking about the hips. So really commonly here in the practice, when we see people come in after a low back tweak, they love telling us they're just super tight through the front of the hips here. Maybe they're a bit stiff through the glutes and definitely through the low back here. So a great way to start addressing some of that is a couple of these little stretches, just some gentle movements, nothing crazy. So first one is the old school classic, the hip flexors. So what we want to do is come into a little bit of this half kneeling position, just like this. But the classic mistake everyone makes here is they just sort of lean forwards. The thing we can do here that's going to really help is just nice and tall through the chest and just try and pull that hip under, like you're John Travolta and it's Saturday Night Fever. So just bring that hip under and a little bit of a squeeze of the glute on that back leg and then just lean forwards. And you should feel you get a nice big pull through the front of the groin and maybe up into the stomach here a little bit. And then just hang out and breathe. So I generally tell the people stretching that you can maybe hold it for about 60 seconds or so, but you can start to accumulate maybe 1 to 2 minutes in this position, maybe a little bit longer. And then swap over to the other side. Doing both sides, going back and forth. So that's a great one to start with. You can even turn that into the old school calisthenic couch stretch, which we'll link in the description below. So next up, old school classic for a bit of rotation stuff, a yoga classic, the pigeon pose. So pigeon pose just looks like we're bringing that front leg in front and we're just hanging out like this. Now, you might do a tall pigeon, you might want to push that leg into a little position, or you might do a low pigeon where you hang out just like this, as long as you are comfortable and you can get a nice stretch through the glute here at the back. And then swap over to the other side. As you can see, I'm not the most mobile person in the world either. You might find after a little bit of a tweak, some of these positions are a little bit challenging. You just do what you can do. You want to do the thing that you can do best, which really doesn't cause you too much pain, and you can just hang out and breathe through. So that's a great one for our glutes at the back, a bit of hip stretching, and then we can turn that into what we call the shin box, or the 90-90 position, which is a great one for the internal rotation of the hip here. So we're sort of trying to get this front hip here, and then from here, we can muck around and see what you like, feel, play some jazz. So we can lean over that front leg, which turns into a little bit of a pigeon position again, or we can more sink back on a bit of a diagonal, and that's going to address this back leg here. That's going to be a bit of the internal rotation back through here. And again, just hang out, breathe. And then if you want to, swap over to the other side. And if that's feeling all right, you can then maybe after a bit of stretching, turn it into a bit of a mobilizer. These old 90-90 windshield wipers, just getting some things moving through there. If you've got your handy foam roller, and maybe a lacrosse or a spiky ball present, you can also do a bit of release work through the things that are going to attach to the hips at the front of the back, like your old school hamstrings, glute here, or you can come through to the front of the quad, which is going to attach up the top here. And you can just jump on the foam roller, hang out at the top here and just sit on it, and maybe even a little bit lower towards the knee. All right, so that's the basics for the hips. Just some self-care and some self-love to get those hips motion, just moving through the pelvis some more so you can get upright, you can get moving and get on with your day. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.